Okay, students, this is creating a graph part 2, and we left off having completed our chart so that our data is more organized, and that data we got, from this lab simulation. Okay. Now, once we have a nice chart where it's organized, we need to create a graph. And before we create a graph, let me just show you what a graph is. So a graph is simply a set of coordinates where we have an x-axis, which is the horizontal line, and we have a y-axis, which is the vertical line. Whenever we plot a point, we need two numbers to plot. We need an x value and a y value. And we write them in ordered pairs. And so, for example, this first number 2 would be the x coordinate, and 4 is the y coordinate. When we read a graph, when we're plotting a number, we're going to, if our ordered pair is 2, 4, then in order to plot that on the graph, we're going to go over 2, 1, 2 units, and go up 4 units, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then make a little dot. And that would be our point, 2, 4. Right here at the center, this is our origin, and our coordinates are 0, 0. So the x value is a 0, and the y value is a 0. I want to point out that the horizontal and the vertical scales are different, but each one considered alone is evenly spaced. So if you noticed, when we went over 1 unit, this horizontal scale, 1 unit is equal to 2 blocks. Whereas when we're going up a unit, 1 unit, and the vertical scale, or the y-axis, we are only going up 1 block. So 1 unit is 1 block. You can take your graph paper and evenly space out your values on the x-axis and on the y-axis so that it accommodates the data that you want to plot. If you need to practice your plotting points, you can go to the simple coordinates game, and you can be into guess mode. And in guess mode, what we're going to do is look at this home and see where it's at. So in order to read it, we would go over 9 units. So if I take this house and drop it down on the x-axis, I'm at 9. So my x value is 9. And then the y value, we've gone up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. So we've gone over 9 and up 6. So our x-coordinate is 9 and our y-coordinate is 6. And then we can check our answers. And yes, we've got that right. And if I want to do another quiz, another practice, then I click on New Point. This one is over 19 units. Our x value is 19. And our y value, we went up 1, 2. We went up 2. We can check. We can switch to view mode, and what you can do is type in a coordinate. It could be anything. It could be over 3 and up 6, and we can plot it, and the house will be placed on that coordinate. There's many other games in this site that you can do. I went back to Learner and scrolled down. Here is Graphit. Here's Ordered Simple Plot. That's what we just did. There's Simple Plot. There's Graph Sketcher. There's a maze game. There's actually hundreds of activities here. I'm sure that we'll use it quite a bit. But when you're practicing and reviewing graphs, you can start out basic until you understand the concept and then get more advanced. So if you notice on the quiz, the practice activity we just did, we only worked in this quadrant. So we can also graph negative integers as well as positive, and we'll come back to that during another review. Okay, so going back to our data, we have this data here, and now we're going to make a graph. We need to plot it. Okay, this is the end of part 2. Okay, part 3, we're going to plot our data.